Hi, my name's Matej and you're watching the Surviving Art Show, and today I want to make a quick video about how to structure your work routine and your work ethics to really get shit done. So if you're interested, stick by. Work ethics are really important, and having a good structured work plan is even more so, because without one we end up watching Netflix or playing computer games all day instead of working. And it is a big problem. It was a large problem for me in the past, where I would start working on something and eventually it just segued into me not doing anything the whole day, feeling crap in the evening, and then promising myself that I will do work tomorrow. And well, eventually it just didn't work out in the long run. And the problem was I didn't have a good work ethics and I didn't have a good work plan. The point why I'm making this video is because I just did some work and a thought popped into my mind, and if I would have followed that thought process I wouldn't get anything done today. But I caught it and now I'm doing this video instead of watching Netflix. And I want to start off this talk with a story about a guy named Pavlov who wanted to develop pigeon-guided rockets in World War I for the American government. And the point was, he was a scientist, a behavioral scientist, that studied animals and human beings and rats and dogs and so on, and wanted to find out what makes them tick, what makes certain kinds of animals behave in certain ways, and how to make them do things that they wouldn't necessarily do by themselves, like, for example, pigeons guiding missiles. Now really something instinctively that comes to pigeons. But the point is, his research on pigeons got cut off, not because it didn't work though, but because the government obviously found better ways to guide their missiles. I think it was heat guidance or something like that. I'm no bomb expert by any means, but the whole point is his research actually worked because he focused on structuring the lessons for the animals in such a way that they would do a job, a certain kind of task, and at the end he would reward them if they did the task correctly. And the same process that applies to animals also applies to humans, because let's face it, we're nothing more than monkeys in shoes. So, how to structure your routine to get the most out of your workday? The main point is to structure your work and then have a reward system in place. And let's focus on rewards first, because I tended to have a big problem with rewarding myself in the past because I didn't actually know what I liked. And maybe a lot of you are the same, because for example, if anybody would have asked me what my favorite color is or what my favorite food is, I wouldn't know how to reply because I didn't have one particular favorite color. I used to say, well, it depends on the situation or it depends on the context. And I thought that was a very smart reply to such an answer, because obviously what I like to eat at a certain Italian restaurant is not going to be the same thing that I'd like to eat at home, because it just takes more effort to prepare, or there are certain ingredients that you need to buy. But the problem was that because of this reply, I thought I had it all figured out, when in actuality, I had no idea what I liked in these certain situations. I had no favorite food at Italian restaurants. I had no favorite meal at some other like Vietnamese restaurant or anything. I had no favorite color in any situation. I just thought that having a simple ideological answer in place would actually help me, but it didn't do much. And now I learned to actually find things that I really like. For example, I really like coffee, I really like black strong tea, and I really like music. And these three things are the pillars of what I base my rewards upon. So after a good work done, I would reward myself with either of these three. Next is actually doing the work so we can reward ourselves. It is imperative to focus on at least 30 minutes, 40 minutes, some time frame where we do work and nothing else. This means uninterrupted, focused work. But it does not mean that we actually do anything in this particular time frame, which is a bit of an oxymoron, but the point is to just focus on a particular task for a certain amount of time, regardless of the outcome. Sometimes you have days where you do a lot, and sometimes you have days where you do very little. And the days where you do very little can heavily impact how you feel about work, and no real gratification will help, no real reward will help. You'll just feel crap because you didn't do anything. And especially if you reward yourself on the merit of how much you did, you will have a bad time, because the times where you do the least amount of work should be the times where you reward yourself a little bit more, actually, to get through these times and to actually stick to the work. The point is to focus on a time frame where we do our work and that is uninterrupted, that is just focusing on one particular task, and at the end we give ourselves a small reward. For example, I was just listening to Kansas's Wayward Son. That really gives me a lot of energy. I love the tune and it just gets me pumped up and feeling well and good about what I do. And obviously you pick your own poison. But the point is, period of time of work and then a small bit of reward, and then another period of work and then another reward, and you do this 5 times, 3 times, as long as you can, as long as your attention span really permits you, actually. And at the end of all the work and small rewards, you give yourself a big reward, either a nice lunch or you go running or whatever really gives you a lot of energy and makes you feel amazing about yourself. These two systems, these two tiers of rewards really help, because these smaller rewards make you do these smaller segments of work, and each time you reward yourself a little bit, you'll be more likely to do another segment of 30 minutes or 40 minutes of work, and at the end you give yourself a massive one, like a really good dopamine hit that really gets you into the mood of, wow, I did a lot of good things today and I'm really proud of myself. And that just enforces the whole structure and the whole idea of your work schedule really into yourself and into your lizard brain. Because the main thing we have to battle when we do work is the obvious fact that nobody wants to do anything and just lay on their couch, eat pizza and watch Netflix. I'd like to do it, and probably a lot of you would like to do that as well. And that's our lizard brain that just wants to do the pleasurable things. It's the instant gratification that a lot of people talk about. And our job, and the job of this work ethic, or this work routine, is to battle that lizard and to give it some amount of gratification, some amount of rewards, to keep it at bay and to keep it passive enough for us to focus on the things that we don't actually like to do, but in the end give us the most in return. So this is it for today's video. If you have your own routine that you'd like to share with me or with everybody else and you want to talk about it, please leave it in the comment section below and just give me some feedback if you like these videos or not. If you're new here and you like these kind of videos about the art world, I do a lot of videos about galleries, about how to price your work, how to get exhibited and so on. Consider subscribing. And if you're already subscribed, thanks a lot for the support, and I hope you enjoy these videos, and see you next time on Surviving Art.